What We Remember rundown for Star Wars The Mandalorian Chapter 12, The Siege. Written by Jon Favreau. Directed by Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
Yeah.
Has he ever directed anything before?
I don't know, but he wanted to direct this.
Do it. Let him have it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he directed those episodes of Arrested Development.
That's what I was wondering.
He was
Actually,
in,
yeah, I was
you
wondering
know,
if he might
Oh,
have done a couple.
That's smart. Did Bryce Dallas
forgot he
Howard
was in
ever
that.
direct any of those? Maybe in the later years.
I don't know. I didn't even know she wanted to be a director until
Until this.
Yeah.
Last season she directed one.
My name is Bradley Jones. With me is Andy Moldenhauer and Andy Hubert and Nicholas Haynes from the Sketchy Nonsense Podcast.
So, we get going on the siege. What's the opening scene here? Mando has got that calamari ship still all dangling with strings and things, trying to get things to work. Baby Yoda's in like a little crock pit thing, like a big hole.
No, does it start that way? I thought it starts at the it starts at that like compound village, doesn't it? Yeah. The Jedi, right?
No.
You're thinking of the next
You're
episode.
thinking you're one episode
Entitled
ahead.
The Jedi.
Did you skip one?
What?
I might have skipped an episode.
Let's tell Andy about this episode.
Oh no. Wait. What? Did I skip?
You skipped chapter 12.
They
Did
go
we
back
not
to
do the
visit
last
Carl
one?
Weathers again. Do you miss that?
Oh, we haven't talked about that one
No.
yet.
Oh, you did see it though.
God, you hope so.
I thought we already did this one.
You did.
No.
What? All right. Catch me up to speed.
Catch me if you can.
But no, we open with an accurate depiction of what it's like when Andy calls me for tech support.
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah.
He's
Yes,
like,
yes,
I'm
yes.
like, you
What's the start button?
put the red wire where you took out the blue wire, and
You
then
gotta like.
he sets the house
I'm
on
a
fire.
visual person. I gotta see somebody do it. For me.
Carlos has 13 directing credits.
Holy cow.
Wow,
Wow.
TV shows.
He's been working.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Directed 8 episodes of Silk Stockings.
I don't even
You guys
remember
remember that show? That was on the
No.
USA
Don't
Network
remember
back
that
in
at
the
all.
day.
I
God.
don't.
Wow.
It sounds like a softcore porn thing, for sure.
Hawaii Five-0 recently. He directed an episode of the new
Okay.
one. The new one,
Did
2019
I miss
one.
a whole episode?
We'll see.
Yeah, you're about to find out,
We're about to find out, buddy.
Yeah. See if this sounds familiar to you. Oh, he's leaving. He's just leaving.
Well, we can go on without him.
That's fine.
So Yoda is not him and Yoda aren't getting along. They can't communicate. Yoda
No.
doesn't know language. Maybe I don't know. He's not.
Not as far as Mando can tell.
Yeah.
He still talks to him.
Yeah, and Yoda gets zapped real good and almost dies, and everyone has a good laugh.
Yeah, it was very funny when he almost died.
He almost dies.
Yeah, he's a small child. He should have been dead.
He's 50 years old, though. You know, although again, I
doesn't
feel like
matter.
he should also still have been dead because now
Yeah.
he's too old.
And they cut to Mando and him having some lunch. Mando's sipping on some soup, taken out of his helmet, which is a big deal.
He's like lifting it up so
In
you can
front
just,
of Yoda. He's that comfortable
He didn't
with
reveal
him.
his face though, just his mouth.
Yeah, just a little mouth.
Yeah,
skis.
just a little
That's the
tiny
way.
bit.
Was it Pedro? Or was it somebody else?
I don't think so.
Did I see a fake mouth or Pedro's mouth?
One cannot tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it says starring Pedro Pascal.
He only
but-
does the voice now.
Really?
That's what
Yeah,
they were
supposedly
telling me.
he's they did a full on like Darth Vader where now someone else is doing the physical acting.
Yeah,
now.
I know the first season they had to have somebody else do it because he was tied up with, I think, Narcos or something like that. And then he was able to do, of course, the one episode where he takes off his mask. Then I heard a whole thing that he got in an argument with the creators about how, he was jealous that other Mandalorians were not quite so Mandalorian in their ways, in that he was upset that he always had to keep the mask on.
Oh, he's pulling a
This
dread.
drama.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
pulling a
yeah.
Sylvester Stallone in dread.
He's like, people won't know who I am.
It's not like the biggest news story about it, so I don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah.
But I hear he kind of isn't doing it so much anymore. So
Interesting.
it feels like anybody could do his voice. It's not like a super unique
Yeah.
voice.
I feel like people know him now after
He has,
Narcos
certain
and after
cadence.
Game of Thrones. I mean, I think he's got enough of a voice presence, maybe.
I don't
I don't
know.
know. That's a good question.
I feel like in the helmet with the kind of effect that he has over his voice, I feel like, if shit went down and they just didn't need him and they were never going to show his face again.
Hey, just get Billy West in there,
So they're gonna land on his planet, which is I forget what it's called. Something with a T, maybe. The first main planet that we
Jeez.
see in the first episode.
Yeah, that one. The other desert.
The
not Tatooine.
No, the not Tatooine place. and lands his ship, and Gina Carino and Carl Weathers.
They
Greek
both come
cargo.
out immediately. They're like, "What up, bro?"
Hey there, fella.
Yeah.
He's like, "Fix my ship."
Yeah, and they fix the ship.
They do.
They take him into town. Before this, Gina Carino has like a action scene where she
Oh,
beats up a
that's
couple
right.
of thugs that
Yeah.
are trying to eat a ferret.
They're like trying to like
A
split up
puppet ferret.
some things they stole from someone's house or something, and
Yeah.
she's like, "I'm gonna murder all of you. That's the law."
And it's in the place where the armorer was.
Yes.
So it's also kind of like desecration in a way.
Yeah, and gets a ferret buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And- which is a puppet. They use
Yeah.
a
Yes,
puppet.
it is.
They've seem to be using a lot of puppets.
I was kinda-
at this time around. I feel like.
Yeah,
I was
use
kind of
it-
wondering
use it
too.
up.
Like, I wanted to look up the trivia for this to see if it was spun that this like ferret thing is related to whatever the space otters were that Han Solo fights in one of the books.
It's supposed to be like I was reading there's some lore to the ferret where it actually
There always
can like
is.
defend itself.
There always is. It's
like
probably
actually
a Jedi
It's
ferret.
actually more
Yeah.
dangerous than it seemed it would be.
Yeah.
But she beats up those guys, then Mando lands, and then they have some conversations.
They show him that the one building that they had the big shootout in is
Yeah.
now a school.
The bar got turned into a school.
Yeah,
That's
she-
so like Western.
She's
is.
now the
100%
sheriff of the or
Yeah,
marshal.
They call her the marshal.
The
a bunch of
marshal.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So she's the law.
So everyone's just good and happy now in this episode.
Yeah, there's all these people in the town. I'm like, that was quick. Look at all these people that moved in.
So big question: did Andy Moldenhauer
Yeah,
see this
he's
episode?
back now.
Andy, you watched?
Yeah,
you
so-
just watched it. So how'd it go?
I forgot that we like missed a week, and so I just like kept moving forward. And yes, I did watch that one, but then I also watched the Jedi one.
Yeah, I'm far.
So
away.
Yeah.
I watched the Jedi one to prepare for this.
Okay, yeah, perfect. There's no problems with that at all.
That's how that works.
Yep, great.
But they put Yoda in that school because they need to talk to Mando about some secret mission.
Yep.
And then Yoda steals candy
He steals
from
some
baby.
macarons from
Yeah,
some
he's
jerk kid
kind
who
of a-
won't share his macarons.
Yoda's not a good
No, he's,
Jedi.
No, we've established this. Yoda is
just
not
ba-
a good
he's
baby.
just
Yoda's not a
all
good
in.
he's
person.
eating
Feed me.
babies.
Yep.
He's eating in,
Well,
like an
it did have
endangered
to share.
species.
Yeah.
It's like him being in the middle of a task and he's like wanting to eat food during it. And like
It
you
did
tell-
have to
They can't
share.
He can't take baby Yoda
I
anywhere.
was making-
As soon as someone busts something out, Yoda's like, "Can it
Give it
be
to me."
eaten? I will eat
It
it."
doesn't matter. Frog, egg, candy.
What was that? Blue cookie?
Alien space ice spiders.
He's finally eating something that's meant to be food at least.
Yeah,
now.
that's true.
It's true.
He had some soup, I guess, a little earlier.
Yeah, it had a thing in it.
This
though.
Yoda thing likes balls. You know, it likes round things. It's like
Oh, sure.
You know,
That's true.
a lot of balls.
The
Just some
balls.
nose
X
thing.
versus Sever. Balls X versus Sever.
He's all about that one control lever in the ship.
He loves it. So they take Mando to the little spot where they're going to tell him about the mission.
And they do the classic.
Who's there? Horatio comes back.
Oh, that's
Yes,
right.
yeah.
From episode 1.
I was happy to see that. I knew as soon as I saw the recap, as
Yeah,
soon as
he
they
was gonna
showed it,
be
I
in
was
there.
like, "All right, they're gonna bring him back," and I'm happy.
His
Horatio's
name is Mithril, which is the stuff that his, like, the Beskar and Mithril, those are like Lord of the Rings.
Mythical armor.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
I
true.
do.
That's
Yeah.
about.
Who is he?
Like, he's the blue fish person.
From the first episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
He was also
Yep.
in Saturday Night Live a lot.
That guy?
You like the sauce?
He's always laughing with Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
I forgot that was Horatio
Only
Sands.
laughing with Jimmy Fallon.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I will say, like, because I marathon all these episodes.
A little blurred together, or
Well, you know what? It kind of like I understand why they probably should release it by like a weekly or
I like the
bi-weekly.
weekly. People
Because-
don't like the
Yeah.
weekly. I like the weekly.
I'm
Watching it back to back,
weekly.
every episode, he just goes somewhere and he gets told he'll get what he wants, but
as
he's
soon as he
gotta
helps
do
someone,
this. And
yeah.
it's like, man, this
Classic
formula,
Western trope,
yeah, this
you're right.
formula is kind of
yeah.
running thin a
I
little
think
bit.
Gunsmoke
Yeah.
did this for like 1,000
It's- yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
In the
longest
60s.
running TV series or whatever.
I know, and like it's great Star Wars, Mandalorian, great show. So I'm like, all right, I'm still with it, but like you're gonna have to change it a little bit here. And so far they have not this season.
No,
that's true.
Formula. Get
Yes.
through it. So they have to go to a Imperial base and destroy it because it's the last Imperial thing on the planet.
And he's like, the town won't really be successful until
this
they're
is
gone.
And he thinks it's a military outpost. And they have some 3D holographic global map stuff that gets figuring out where it is. And then they're just going to go, just the three of them, I guess.
Wait, you're saying that Mando's gonna help them
Do
kill
attack,
something?
kill something in
and then they'll
exchange
help
for
him
help
for
for
something
this.
else?
Yep, that's what's going to happen.
Oh.
It's a new thing that's
Fresh
happening.
That's weird,
so far
yeah.
in Star Wars. So they take on a little speeder. Ratio Sands owns it, and they just go out there and
they make a lot of jokes about how he is now an indentured servant for 300 years.
There's a lot of slavery jokes.
a little
going
bit.
on
And
here.
Grief Karga is really like
He's laying them in.
He's like, if you do this thing and risk your life for this, I'll take 20 years
Off
off
your
of your
indentured
indentured
servitude.
servitude. Like, Jesus.
We don't know what the laws are on that planet. We can't judge that, you know.
That's fair. You know?
How can we judge that? You know, different cultures. You know, you gotta let it sort itself out.
They get to the base, and everything is
It's a very reasonable way of looking at it.
copacetic. They're trying to break in, and they can't do it, and they keep trying to get Horatio Sands to do this like scientific grunt work to like open doors.
He's like
and
the
things.
computer guy all of a sudden.
They feel like they really need him, but he's kind of apprehensive about wanting to do
he
anything
does not
with
want to
them.
risk himself, which is fair enough.
But if he doesn't go, they don't succeed.
They really paint him as a dummy, though.
They do.
At
Yeah.
the beginning of this episode.
He's like a C-3PO fill-in a little bit.
Little bit,
He's like
yes.
the butt of jokes, and
yeah.
He's like the nerd that like everyone laughs at, but also like
he does great
is
work.
critical. Yeah.
He gets 100 on all the papers he turns in.
Yeah.
It's what happens when you don't have like a dry humor death robot that always tags along, like HK-47 or whatever the last assassin was.
Yeah, I forget what that
Yeah.
number was. Alan Tudyk. And there's some platform up there, and then Mando just like zip zap
He's like, got a
jets
jetpack,
up there
boom.
and clears the platform of stormtroopers.
Yeah. Opens the door.
Yep, and they get in, and they're up there, and then stormtroopers are dead. We didn't get to see that sweet action scene.
They kind of run through the base a little back and forth for a bit.
This is episode 4,
It
right?
is, yeah.
The vibes of episode 4, like so.
Yeah, turn the tractor
this
beam
thing.
off.
Yeah, see,
Right.
I'm trying to remember. Am I remembering episode 4 or this? I remember watching everything you've described so far, but I keep remembering the previous.
It is, yeah. They're
episode.
running through the same kind
Yeah.
of corridors, looking for the thing to turn off the
Yeah, they're
tractor
just like
beam.
hiding behind the little areas they can, taking out stormtroopers as they go.
One thing I am proud of this like episode, and I know other episodes have kind of showed it as well, but how well they kind of keep up with the quote unquote old school like Star Wars aesthetic.
Sure.
You know,
Yes.
the red and white buttons, the old
Yeah.
uniform. They hit those aesthetics really well, kind of
Yeah.
like what Rogue One did, which I think is crazy underrated for a Star Wars movie.
Keep saying it.
Um,
It's one of the better ones.
It is. I think it's the best one
very good.
personally, but inside this base they nail that whole Imperial aesthetic here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I love seeing that kind of stuff.
There's blip bloop dashboards that scientists are using. The lighting of the corridors is just like feels like you're on the Death Star.
Yeah. The
only
only
thing
thing
we-
it's missing is a
A
little
trash
mouse
compactor.
droids.
Oh, mouse droid.
Yeah,
Okay.
little mouse droids that go. "Wee!"
One thing I do have an issue with is that they never seem like they're at a disadvantage
Yes.
ever.
Yeah.
They are always kicking ass.
There's
There's never a problem.
I was waiting for a bit where they do the around the corner and there's like an army of stormtroopers and they have
Yeah.
to run, but that didn't really happen. Although I don't know. After the last episode, I feel like they've worn it out because Manor did the whole I'll run down the hall and they'll just shoot my armor and I'm invincible. It's all right.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
It just seems like like you're playing a video game on easy mode.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like the enemy's
They're-
weapons don't hurt you and you destroy
it
them.
does feel very video gamey.
the story mode setting of video games.
Yes, yeah,
Well, it's leading me into my example that it feels also like Halo.
I could see
There's a
that.
lot of Halo. There's even a warthog at the end of this stuff.
yeah,
bit,
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
Is that the thing that drops on the speeder bike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's just moments where like you're going through the corridors in Halo and you're like using guns and blasting stuff all willy nilly without much strategy.
They get to this lava pit,
Uh-huh.
which is the point. They turn off. They have. Does Horatio turn it off?
Yeah. The whole
Yeah,
goal
they
was
like
to
force him to turn it off, right?
Yeah.
Because he has to like every single Star Wars movie has like these like little reactors, and then they have a small tiny little step bridge, but there's no railing or anything.
He makes fun of that. It's really funny.
No
Yeah.
railings. That's the Empire's way. OSHA doesn't exist there,
The whole goal was to sabotage the cooling lines.
It's one of my favorite like robot chicken jokes was
that?
he's like, I asked them for a railing. A railing. You know what they said? They said they were worried I'd lean on it. Can you believe that shit?
Got time to lean, you got time to clean?
There you go.
And they do it. They succeed. No
No
issues.
problems. Yeah.
There's no like have to override the hacking or do another thing. It just works.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
You gotta
For
move
them.
that forward,
Sometimes,
I
yeah.
guess.
Sometimes it's nice to just be like, oh, the plan actually just worked, I guess.
I
Okay.
guess it's just fine.
Yeah.
They don't get caught or nothing.
This is fine.
And they're trying to escape again. They have 10 minutes. Now we got some stakes
The
going on
timer's
here.
going.
The timer's
Got to do
clicking.
the escape mission.
They come into a room with a bunch of with two like smarty pants Imperial guys who are trying to like delete information.
This I thought was a cool bit. 'Cause,
This was a good bit.
They show up and like one of them starts shooting at the guys and the other one just starts blasting this control panel. And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. This guy's like, oh God, delete the browser history.
Yep.
Don't let him know what I was looking at.
Yeah.
The dancing lady from Jabba's hut comes up on the hologram.
Turn it off. Oh God.
And then Jabba jumps up on there. He's
These
dancing.
big pop-ups.
Jabba's wearing the gold bikini.
Oh yeah.
This is some kinky stuff.
Ooh,
You gotta
totally.
delete this, but send me a copy,
And I'll delete it.
and I'll delete it for you.
Don't worry.
With all this like sciencey stuff going on in the background, are like tubes,
Cloudy tubes.
cloudy tubes of things in them, like people.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know what they are.
Was this the Matrix?
I feel like
It's
one
Matrixy.
looked
They're
deformed in a way.
Yeah, they look weird.
You're trying
Yeah.
not to get a good look, I guess, at what's going on.
And even though the one dude blasts that console, they're like, play the most recent voicemail. And it's Moff Gideon.
It isn't. It's his
You're
scientist.
Right. You're right.
friend.
It's the scientist guy
Talking
from
to
the
Moff
beginning, the
Gideon.
first
Yeah.
season. Yeah, about they need more of the from the host.
You know what the word they say is, Andy?
What is it?
We need something with a higher M count.
Brad, I gotta leave.
There were promising effects for an entire fortnight, but then, sadly, the body rejected the blood. I highly doubt we'll find a donor with a higher M count, though. I recommend that we suspend all experimentation. I fear that the volunteer will meet the same regrettable fate if we proceed with the transfusion.
talk
Explain
about
to the people at the table, especially Andy Moldenhauer, who's literally scratching his head.
That stands for micro dick.
That would be better.
I got him then. You know.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
This is the midichlorians.
So let me explain how they're supposed to work the right way.
The force is
The George
inside
Lucas
you.
way,
You're
right?
born with it.
So, yeah.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Mandalorian.
They're supposed to be that they're attracted to people with the Force, not that they are the connection to the Force, and I'm upset about it. It was the easiest writing choice, but Lucas was like, I don't really understand how to write that well.
No one will stop me.
This boy has a high midichlorian count, higher than Master Yoda.
My ex-wife's not here to fix my movie.
That's my Qui-Gon. That's terrible. So yeah, they bring it up again.
Bring it up again.
They
I didn't even
gotta
hear that.
Which
talk about that.
You had theorized that they were going to do it, and they did it.
Yeah.
and
They
you're
did it.
pissed.
And now-
I mean,
and
they're
you're pissed.
hinting,
Self-fulfilling
they're hinting.
prophecy.
They're getting there. But yeah,
You're pissed though,
it
right?
still works.
But they're out of blood, and they're like,
They didn't get enough from
Yeah.
the Yodes
they,
the
well,
first
they,
time around.
yeah, they used it all up essentially.
Yep. And then so that's when you figure out that's what they were doing was basically like just taking his blood. They're like, let's use this to try and create super force soldiers.
Yeah. Are you crying?
Midichlorians.
So they say Moff Gideon at the very end, and then Mando's
Mando
like,
like loses it.
"Oh shit, dog! Man, that guy wants my Yoda.
He's like, this message is old. I killed that dude.
He is dead."
He dead for sure. I know it. And they're like, bro.
He's like, it's time stamped.
yeah. 2 days ago, bro.
2 days ago. That's impossible. I saw him die. No, you didn't. You just left.
Yeah, you just shot down the ship, man.
Yeah.
Like, the ships are designed to, be safe a little bit.
Yeah, they got
Right?
great airbags.
Yeah,
Like he had to cut his way out of that damn ship.
Yeah.
That's how protected he was.
So Mando splits. He goes off on his own. Gina Carino, Carl Weathers, and Horatio Sands go off on their own.
Yeah.
They're just going to meet back up later.
You don't think it like trapped
Nope.
somehow?
No,
like
they don't.
they're
I
like
wish
in,
they
sort
did.
of.
I mean,
They
like
get
not
pinned
trapped,
down.
but like
They
pinned
get
down.
pinned down.
Pinned down's a better way of saying
Yeah.
it. There's a lot of stormtroopers.
Mando goes back, blasts out of that hole that had the
Yeah, he
lava
just
in it.
jetpacks away. He's like, you guys can walk back. I'm a fly.
I'm gonna fly there, get the kid, my ship, and also come back all the way in just a matter of mere minutes.
He's very...
It's a good jetpack.
He's a man on a mission.
yes.
It is a great jetpack. I'm guessing that doesn't run on just normal fumes. It can just go forever, I would say.
apparently.
I don't know how it does it.
Look, I played the N64
It'd run
Bounty
out.
Hunter
You'd run
game.
out a
You ran
lot.
out of that fuel. It wasn't that much.
Yeah.
You had to collect the expansion
boring.
power-ups, you know.
It's gonna run out. The sun's boring.
So he goes off, and then the group is back by their lonesome, but they found that sweet Warthog, APC, whatever ship.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
it's
make
basically
mention
just an
of.
APC.
Yeah.
Which they saw coming in, and Horatio Sands was like, "Can we steal that? Because we could get some good money for that thing."
Yeah.
And then they steal it.
They just straight up steal it, and they make their escape. Falling off the cliff, they land on the speeder bike that they came in on.
Yep. Horatio, he's going to have to
Smushes
work
it.
another
My
20 years to pay that off.
Yeah.
My bicycle.
You knocked my bike over.
Piece off.
And then a bunch of sweet speeder bikes chase after
This was
them.
cool.
But the speeder bikes
This was awesome.
They've been having a lot of fun with Scout Troopers in this
Yeah.
series. I think they've been like,
Yes,
they're
'cause
really those are the
yeah.
real heroes of the Empire. It seems like they're doing everything.
Yeah, so
They seem efficient.
So these are like the bikes that were in Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
in the forest.
Yeah.
that was a really cool scene.
These
Very
dudes-
dangerous too.
Yeah,
I
Not
mean,
the best place to ride
the
those.
the first guy that died, he barely even got like down the cliff into the.
Well, there's two guys that like
Into the
crash into
valley.
each
Yeah.
other and like explode
Yeah.
before they even get down to do anything.
I mean they're doing a swift jump. It's going to take risks, you
They were
know.
looking cool.
Yeah,
yeah, I guess they just wanted to look cool and not be safe. I don't know. But they start chasing after him, and then Grief Karga's got like a sweet turret gun.
it's like joke's on you. I got guns
Yeah,
on this
and they
thing.
start fighting back.
So then they're like, all right, upgrade. And then they send out the TIE fighters with the foldy wings, which I love a lot. Those are really cool. And Grief
So
Karga's like,
what's
joke's
up
on
with
you. I've got a
this?
gun still.
What's up with this? Is this the Empire still?
So this is like a remnant. So in assuming that this universe works similarly to the way the books did, even though they canceled all that stuff, that a lot of the
They're
Empire
repairing
factions,
canon. They're repairing
yeah.
it.
So a lot of these, a lot of the Empire just basically broke into these like factions, and the regional governors, who are the Moffs, are the ones that kind of seized power for themselves in a lot of these places. So that's essentially what Gideon did. He was like, "Oh, well, this is my part of the Empire now, and I'm in charge."
Okay, I see.
So this is him basically doing his own First Order kind of business, but in a different part of the galaxy, I assume.
Yeah, they, because I wondered the title of Moff. They don't really touch on that, I don't feel like,
No.
in this. So you're kind of left as the audience to be like, well, I'm sure that's important in some regard.
Yeah, Moff Tarkin, of course, in the first three
Yeah.
films, and then I'm pretty sure in the Clone Wars and Rebels there was probably a Moff or two.
There's a couple, yeah.
Yeah.
The books, there's a bunch of them. They're like the big bad villains of a lot of the different arcs in there.
Is it a promotional title or is it how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a military governor kind of title. So there's only like supposed to be like 10 of them or something. They just like divide up the galaxy, and like the Moffs run their sections, and they all report to the Emperor directly.
Gotcha.
And they
So-
pick them because there's like some kind of Mothman prophecy or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Oh,
He's back, folks. He did watch this episode.
So they lose their turret. The TIE fighters, the
Yeah.
X-Wings, what do they call it? What is them?
Those are
Sorry, Andy.
TIE fighters.
X-Wings.
Come
the
on,
TIE fighters.
Brad.
The X-Wing TIE fighters.
TIE fighter. Yeah.
The TIE fighters.
Shoot the turret off, and then is he Grief Karga?
Yeah.
Engineer Crano and Horatio Sands are just trying to make
They're
it.
like, we're about to
the
be
line. They're
blasted
gonna get
to
blasted
smithereens.
smithereens. They do that thing where they go inside the cockpit and it's like aiming at the ship and they're on target, but then Mando swoops in.
He does a Han
Saves
Solo.
the day.
Han Solo's his way in there and shoots him down. Which the Razor Crest has some sweet guns.
Yeah.
It looks to be.
Doesn't really use them that much.
No, yeah, we finally really get to see him use. I don't know if he's shot him before.
Yeah. His ship is at fully functional now, though.
Mm-hmm.
Got
Ready
it all
to go.
repaired up. All, better than the previous episode.
Right.
They just like stapled cardboard to it.
Well, there's also a turncoat guy that helps repair the ship.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
plants a tracker on it.
Which
Yeah.
it's pretty obvious at the beginning
Yeah.
of the episode. They focus on that character.
linger on that guy a little too long.
They do like a solo shot.
And he
of
didn't
him.
have a sweet knit sweater like that Mon Calamari guy did. So I was like, he's got to be bad then.
And Mando just gets out of there. He doesn't have time to have drinks with Grief Karga or hang
He
out.
doesn't,
and
yeah,
do
he doesn't
buddy
even
time.
land. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
come on back. We'll high five. And he's
Yep.
like, nope, I'm gone.
I got to get out of here.
I gotta
Moff
go.
Gideon's on my tail.
Yeah. He's like scared
Mm-hmm.
of Moff Gideon.
And Yoda's eating the candy back there, looking all cute.
Finally, get some chow.
Yeah.
I have to say that I can't remember the actor's name who plays Moff Gideon.
Giancarlo Esposito?
I
don't
gotta
know how to
say,
his name.
he interests me the least in this entire series so far.
Yeah, he shows up right at the end here.
Like the whole character just doesn't seem very Empire. I don't know.
Yeah.
He just he doesn't seem like a great fit to me personally.
He's very like matter of fact and like very by the book, I would say. Like he has a way of doing things that he likes to do them.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of expect an Empire-esque villain to be more villainy, and he's kind of almost not.
He's not really taking joy in what he's doing.
It's very much just
more
like,
matter of fact.
we've got to take care of this issue.
Yeah,
Let's go do
He seems
that.
like the pencil pusher. Which
Yeah.
maybe he is. Maybe that's like a twist.
Maybe.
Yeah, we haven't really seen
haven't
too
seen-
much of
yeah.
him now.
I do like you getting those contrasting different types of characters. Like we mentioned in Rogue One, you get like Director Krennic, who is like a big crybaby guy who's like determined to be like a cool dude, like who contrasts with Tarkin. And you also get like the other leaders of the First Order in the new movies, who are all like those moody emo kids who suddenly now are in charge of an army and getting revenge on the people they don't like, but in the wrong way. Yeah, it's just I like getting the different types of who is the bad guy, because it does do, I think, a decent job, at least in this universe, of being like, anyone can really be the bad guy. Like,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
sure.
that just because someone doesn't seem like a bad guy that they're not.
So there you have a big spoiler. There's a hologram of that guy who fixed Mando's ship.
Yeah.
They put a little tracker on there. It goes into this big... They do another episode 4, kind of, I don't know if a callback or just
Flyover,
reference.
yeah.
A big Imperial... I don't even know what it is. It's not
It's
not a Star Destroyer.
It's a different
something
kind of
else.
ship. Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
seen it before.
They do the under the ship shop. Ship shop.
Hey,
under
the ship shop.
And
Under the ship shop.
there's a person who takes the communication, passes that information on to Moff Gideon. He does his very good, whatever, bad guy voice. And they turn the camera, and there's a bunch of what looks to be Darth Vaders everywhere.
Is that what that was? I couldn't quite recognize
really?
what they were.
They're
They
called-
look
they're-
like
they
bad
end up being
things.
like dark stormtroopers, I guess, in like canon.
Okay.
Apparently, they can use the Force. There's stormtroopers that can use the Force.
Sounds like some Jedi Outcast kind of video.
I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if they were robots or
That's
not.
what I was wondering.
That's what
I'm
they
not sure
look
if they're
like.
robots or clones or
Yeah,
what's going on.
Curious.
But there was like embryos in those tubes, so I'd assume that they're clones.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
And they're trying to like clone bad Jedi, I guess.
That sounds very Star Warsy.
But he has a lot of them. There's like
He does have a
40
lot
of
of
them.
them.
If they all get lightsabers and have force powers, that's going to be a big old mess.
Better
Look,
hope
he's got
you have some
Beskar.
Jedi.
He's got Beskar.
Yeah, I was about to say lightsaber can't cut through his armor, so
Yeah, he's
he'll
safe.
just run down the hallway again.
I don't know if he was wearing it in the first season, but even like Moff Gideon has some like Darth Vader-y like breastplate stuff on.
Yeah, like kind of that armored
Yeah.
flight
I don't know if he was
suit kind
wearing
of
that
thing.
in the season 1 or if that was like because he got injured when he fell.
I think he was. I think it's
Yeah,
basically
maybe.
an extension of like the suit because it's kind of also like just the TIE fighter pilot suit. So I'm wondering if maybe that's like he put it on for that, and then he was like, "This is pretty comfortable. I don't need it. I like this look. This is me now.
You know what? I'm wearing this out
I'm
the store.
feeling this
I'm
outfit.
wearing this one out the store.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my old clothes.
You ever done that?
No, never. I've never shopped at a nice
I mean,
place
you
for
said it
clothes
like
ever.
you've done that before.
I wish
Just your
I would.
standard. Yeah.
And you got to do like a
All
spin
my
as you go
clothes
out
come
the door.
from the thrift store or online.
Yeah.
Do that once.
I want to. Maybe one day that'll be my pretty woman moment.
Yeah.
Because you are a pretty woman.
Thank you.
You deserve it, Brad.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us, Nick Haynes of the 50 Nonsense Podcast.
It's been my pleasure, and I hope to do it again very soon.
well, it's gonna be.
Oh, wow.
Next
Oh.
week.
Just
Foreshadowing.
wait.
He's gonna be on the next.